I think we're ready to get started, so if we could get everybody over here maybe to find a seat. All right, thank you so much. So my name is Deanna McQueen. I'm the Communications Director here for the city, and it is my honor today to introduce to you our City Manager, Peter Zanoni.
Great. Good morning, everybody. All right. Welcome to North Beach, right? I see a lot of residents here, right? Yeah. Yes. We want to thank everybody for attending this great event this morning. We're here to commemorate the North Beach History Plaza. We're on it right now. This is city property. Before I get too much into the program, though, we want to recognize some of our guests that are here, some of our distinguished guests. So we have council members, Councilman Lerma, whose the district this is in. Yes, sir. We have at-large council member Mike Pusley, who's he and Councilman Lerma both speak a lot about and advocate constantly for North Beach. Also, Councilman Ben Molina is here, City Council District 2. We have some of our community representatives, our North Beach Community Association President, Dr. Barbara Welder. Dr. Welder. Our North Beach Community Association Secretary, Carrie Myers. Carrie. Do we have Rocking H Construction? Is Jose Guerra here? Jose, the contractor for the project. We have several persons here from our Parks and Recs Advisory Committee. That includes Howard Shower and Linda Lindsay. Right, is Howard here? Howard's, okay, Howard? Yes. So our Parks and Recs Advisory Committee is one of our strong advisory committees that helps the mayor and council on policy matters with respect to our Parks and Rec system. So we want to welcome them, and we're glad they're here participating today. We do have brand new this week, our new Parks Director, the tall gentleman in the back, Robert Dodd. You get a chance to see him. Yes, sir. We'll be doing an official kind of kickoff for Robert Dodd next week at City Council, actually on Monday, and then at City Council as well. So we're glad he's on board. He'll help to shape the direction of our park system going forward. We have several other persons here with us. Our Texas State Aquarium, Jesse, right? And is Laura? Jennifer, sorry, and Jennifer. So great partners on this peninsula. This is one of our #1 tourist attractions, Jesse and Linda, right? So thank you for being here this morning. Yes. So this project that we're here to talk about today is a very exciting one. It was started in 2018. That's a long time ago. And it was one of those projects that I knew about 3 years ago when I first got on board as your city manager. And it was one that was somewhat stalled, even though Carrie Myers and others like Dr. Welder advocated for it. They had put in the concrete, and there was some dollars remaining, but not enough to really finish the project. And so in this budget, with City Council approval, we added more dollars to be able to put some added enhancements to this project. This is to be a family-oriented educational plaza. It'll be free to the community. We know it's strategically located between the Texas State Aquarium and the Lexington. Once the construction is complete, the new plaza will include 8 signs, and there's a rendition right here that we want you to see if you hadn't seen it now before the event. But there'll be 8 historical signs that will share the history of North Beach. Do we think this place has history on North Beach? Oh, yeah. Right, it does, right? So those placards that are already done, they were actually made and fabricated and kind of in storage. When I got here 3 years ago, we said, let's get this project done. So they'll be lined up along this way. We'll have some nice treatment done to the concrete that you can see to my left over here. And if you can't see it from where you're sitting, get up after the program and see it, because they'll add some color and some direction to the plaza. We'll be adding benches, flower planters, and trash receptacles as well. The engineering department will help with that thermoplastic walkway. It's similar to the one that Councilman Molina advocated for at 6 Points. Are you all familiar with that one, or did people see it? Right? It's the first in our city. Many cities have done this some time ago. With the advocacy of Councilman Molina, we put the first artistic crosswalk in. We'll be using similar material to put here along the educational plaza, if you will. So funding for this project is a total of $200,000. That includes the concrete, the signs, the benches, the design work. We still have some work to do after that. So in our future budgets, with the council support, things like shade potentially, maybe some more seating treatment, lighting. Those are all things that we couldn't do in the $200,000 budget, but those are things we know will make this plaza even better. Now, I do need to recognize, we introduced them in the beginning, but Dr. Welder and Carrie Myers were both instrumental in ensuring the success of this plaza. We really owe it to them, both of you ladies, for advocating so much to have this history plaza and project complete. They have spent countless hours researching the history of North Beach, compiling and designing information needed to produce the signage that we'll see here shortly. So ladies, let's give you a round of applause for the advocacy work that you did. Both Dr. Welder and Ms. Meyer represent the North Beach Community Association, and they have worked closely with stakeholders. And that's a key to their success and a key to our success in the city, which is we can't do things alone. We have to rely on our stakeholders, and they got that as well, right? And so because of their advocacy work, their history, research, and talking to others, today we're here and we're able to commemorate this historical plaza that will be completed soon. The contract's already awarded and everything's already in order. Now it's just a matter of placing it in the plaza itself. The construction will begin this month and it'll be completed later this summer. The City Council and the staff care about North Beach, right? I shouldn't even have to read that to say that, but we care about North Beach. In my 3 years here, it has been a constant topic of conversation to invest in North Beach. And not only are we talking about it, but we're doing investing. With the City Council's policy advocacy in the past 3 years, almost $12 million has been invested in North Beach, or is in the process of being invested. $12 million. That includes the Lighthouse Point. The city invested $600,000 for that beautiful multifamily apartment complex. North Beach drainage, we received federal monies, the CARES Act money, and with Councilman Lerma's dedication and commitment to North Beach, $5 million is pledged for drainage from those dollars. North Beach restrooms, a brand new $2.5 million project that was in the 2020 bond program, will be going to council. I think it's either this week or next week for approval, or next week or the week after. A brand new bathroom replacing the one that's not too far from here. Right outside the street, you saw some treatment that was done, $77,000 worth of treatment on Shoreline to improve it. And then the Texas State Aquarium, their $16 million rescue center, the city pledged $3 million towards that project. So those projects total close to $12 million of investment. And I think that speaks clearly that I'm speaking, that we care about North Beach, the City Council cares about North Beach, and we're just beginning in the investment for North Beach. Right? Yeah. So if I couldn't demonstrate that loud enough, I think I'm going to have Councilman Lerma come up next, who really knows how to talk about North Beach. He loves North Beach. He's been talking about it in his nearly 2 years on council. So with that, thank you for letting me introduce the program today. Thank you for being here. We look forward to this project getting underway momentarily, and we look forward to coming back for the ribbon cutting in the not too near future. So Councilman Lerma, come on up.
Well, first of all, thank you, Peter. And I want to thank my council members that are here, Mike Pusley and Ben Molina, but I also want to thank the City of Corpus Christi, the City Council. They believe in North Beach. You have residents here that think or that have known that they've been forgotten for a long time. You know, we've gotten the attention of the city and the city council, and definitely I've gotten the attention of Peter. You know, Peter and I've met many times one-on-one, and we talk. Most of my topic is the North Beach area investment. You know, at this time, I want to thank Peter Zanoni. I want to thank Parks and Recs, and I want to thank Neiman Young, because he had a lot to play in this thing, also in the North Beach area. But I want to thank city staff for all the hard work that you men and women put in getting this project forward. You know, history deserves its place in time, okay? We all know that. And it's time for North Beach to take its place in history. A lot of history's happening here in North Beach that a lot of us don't know about. You know, I'm sure when Dr. Wilder comes up, she'll give more about the history aspect of it. But it's taken a long time to get this project to become a reality. When I got elected 1 year and 3 months ago, as soon as I got elected, I got calls from the North Beach area immediately. You know, Carrie Myers got this ear and Carrie Myers got this ear, and she pulled on them. And I sat down with her and listened, and then I came to a couple of meetings at the Northwest Business Community Association, and they were very passionate about this project, amongst other projects that hopefully will get going in the near future. You know, as council members, it's our job to listen to residents, no matter if it's one resident, 50 residents, 200, 3,000, it makes no difference. One is just as important as 3,000 people, you know. And to me, North Beach is an important part of my district. It's a tourist attraction. We have over 800,000 tourists that come here a year to visit the Lady Lex and the aquarium. This plaza being put right here in the middle is a perfect location for it. It's going to tell people about the history of North Beach. You know, let me just tell you something that Dr. Wilder sent to me on history. Zachary Taylor, 1st Army occupied headquarters was in North Beach, between where Pearl and Bennett Streets were. That would be where part of the aquarium is at right now. You know, one of the first United States flags to be in Texas was placed here on North Beach. It wasn't placed in Corpus Christi. It wasn't placed more inland. It was placed right here in North Beach. You know, I don't know if we know exactly where that was at. Did it cover that area up too once they built the aquarium? To me, it's very important that we get a historical marker placed there, as close as we can. I think that's another step that we would like to look at. You know, there's a lot of good things about that. Taylor later moved his headquarters to Water Street in Corpus Christi, but Taylor landed here first. This was his location where he landed, and that to me tells me a lot. And like I said, Dr. Wilder and Carrie, man, they tell you about the history from day one. I mean, they're very knowledgeable of it. They had a big part to play in this. I just had a very little part. Bug Peter about it constantly. That was my job as an elected official. As most of us know that are city officials, we bug Peter because he's the operating officer of everything. So, the more you bug him, he's going to listen, okay? That's the advice I give to anybody. But at this time, I want to thank, like I said, once again, Park and Rec. I want to welcome the new Park and Rec director. Look forward and you and I getting together and taking a drive through my district. You'll see that I have a lot of land. The other guys have a lot of people, but Mike Pusley and I have a lot of land out in the District 1 area. And I look forward to you and I sitting down and driving District 1 and enjoying the drive. But at this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Barbara Wilder. Say a few words.
Thank you, Billy, and all of you. I really am so pleased to be here. I couldn't wake up this morning. I had to pinch myself about 20 times to realize that this thing is going to happen. So it's all good. Again, with the thank yous, I know your names have probably been mentioned, but we couldn't have done this without the city of Corpus Christi. Just wasn't going to happen. Our initial meeting, I remember 5 years ago, 2017, was with the Department of Engineering, Jeff Edmonds. And he helped us, inspired us, but also we realized there was no money. So where can you go? The original plan was to do maybe a museum or a walkway, so that was not going to happen. And luckily the city came through with the hot funds that we needed to get this thing started. So thank you, City Council of Corpus Christi, Mayor Guajardo leading, and Councilman Billy Lerma, we couldn't do without, and the busiest city manager I've ever seen, and the best one, Peter Zanoni. Let's give him a hand. I tell you, the city has come through. Assistant City Managers Neiman Young, where is Neiman? Is he here today? Okay, and Andrea Gardner have been out here and helped just a great deal. Parks and Rec and Mr. Dodd, we welcome you and glad to see you. Department of Engineering, Jeff Edmonds, wonderful group, Melanie Lowry, Lisa Oliver, Santos, and all the Parks and Rec group. Thank you. Our ancillary help was coming from the historical community and the museum group, the Nueces County Historical Commission. Very big support. Museum of Science and History, we worked over there hours, actually years, working with the Doc McGregor collection and all the historical documents there. And of course the Dudley T. Daugherty Foundation, which helped us, and the unwavering support of the North Beach Community Association. I commend them for having their patience. Why did this project start? Others have mentioned this, but it was important to know that we really cared for the fact that not so many people knew about the history out here. You know, we would go places and people say, well, you know, it's a nice place, but whatever happened there? Why do people want to see it? It's kind of it's really forgotten. So that was the motivation there, and the fact that this is basically a place for families. A lot of families come out here. I see them every day, children. This is a great place for children to learn history, kind of painlessly, you know. So that to expose children to the history of North Beach was important. Finally, as I mentioned, the funding came in, so just a great moment. So what are these panels about? There's 16 of them. They're on both sides. There'll be 8 with both sides on them, but they'll be large enough. A visual history. Carrie did the graphics and did a great job on that and arranged all the photographs. We addressed hundreds of years of history. How to make that shorter was the hardest thing because historians usually are longer. So it started with the Native Americans and we work up all the way to the inauguration of our new harbor bridge. One of the things that we pointed out, as Billy Lerma has mentioned, was the arrival of the Army of Occupation, which really kicked off the population started here. After the Army of Occupation, 1845, 1846, there were more people coming in. And since that time, there was a steady flow of people coming into Corpus Christi. I like to read a paragraph real quickly from a sentence from Bill Walraven in a book called El Rincon. If you don't have this book, get it, because I think it's one of the best ones on Corpus Christi and particularly North Beach. El Rincon was the original name, and it was called El Rincon, Corpus Christi Beach, Reeve, other names, Brooklyn, another one, which was a suburb. Bill Walraven says, North Beach has a special place in my heart. I think that's what all of us today feel. It's a special place. It's not like any other place. He also pointed out there were a lot of firsts out here. Why is the history important? Well, there are a lot of things that happened here first. As Councilman Lerma mentioned, the first flag flew over the mainland of Texas, not an island, but a mainland. And it was on Bennett and Pearl Street, right down the way where the new development is starting with the Texas State Aquarium. So that was important. There were 3 presidents out here. President Taft came out here to play golf, walked up and down the beach. And then we had later, of course, a young lieutenant who was a quartermaster named Ulysses S. Grant. Another great one was General Zachary Taylor. And his headquarters were again where the flag was flown. We also had the beginning of the hospitals in Corpus Christi. There were 2 of them to begin with. They were called sanitariums, and one was named Spawn. Spawn Sanitarium was also right over here, and it began in Corpus Christi. Unfortunately, the storm of 1999 came and blew it away. You know, some of you may have seen the movie Rocky, where he goes up and comes down and gets back up. And this reminds me of North Beach. The history is like, here we go again. It's developing. Uh-oh, another storm. But you know what? Rising again, which is what we're doing now. This first suburb, which was called Brooklyn, was right over here in that area. And that was a famous suburb because most of the, let's say, upper level wealthier people came out here. But again, the storm came and they moved into Corpus Christi up on the bluff. The King family was one who had a beautiful home here, but it was blown away. They later rebuilt where the Corpus Christi Cathedral is. The first train came in, the San Antonio Aransas Pass, and it parked right down here near the Villa del Sol. There's a triangle, that's where it turned around. The other thing is we had a trolley coming over here, and it ran right down the middle of Timon and Surfside. So did the railroad track. We had a first golf course, a first country club, and of course, everyone remembers the carnival. So we had the first carnival, and we commemorated this in the panels with calling it the heydays of North Beach, which were from 1920 through the late 1950s. How many of you here remember the carnival? Gee, we've got a young audience. Am I the only one? Okay. Yeah, well, okay. There was a big carnival here. We once had a great big roller coaster, and it was torn down, but later it was all kinds of things. I came down here as a child. My father loved North Beach, so we were right over by where the carnival was, where the, what's it called now, the Doubletree, which was the Radisson. Earlier the Sandy Shores, right in that lot, that whole area. Just north of that was the saltwater pool. So people had so much to do. It was so much fun. Everybody remembers the carnival. The other thing that came out of North Beach was a celebration of the beach and a style show and a bathing suit contest called Splash Days. Splash Days. Later, that morphed into Buccaneer Days. So Buccaneer Days, actually, the seeds of it started out here as well. Well, I could go on and on. I could talk about North Beach all day, but we don't have the time. But I want to thank all of you all for coming, and particularly thank the city again from the heart. And notice here that we're probably the first history plaza on North Beach. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our brief program this morning. Dr. Welder, thank you for that excellent history recap, right? Hopefully somebody was recording that. That'll be great to show to our children and their children. So, great history recap. So today was it's not a groundbreaking because the ground's already been half done here with the concrete, but it's somewhat of a groundbreaking, a recognition that this project is finally going to get done. I said 3 years, but Dr. Welder corrected me. They've been working on it for 5. So our next time back here will be hey, Mr. Frazier, Lynn Frazier, how you doing? Yeah. Our next time back here at the History Plaza will be when all those panels are installed along here. We'll have the treatment, the benches, and the planters. And we'll be excited to read those panels and recap on the history of North Beach. So with that, from the City of Corpus Christi, we thank you for being here, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.